Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the PlugTalkSports live show, episode 201. Jonka Don't Stop. Danny Torres, Brandon will be joining us in just a second. Hope everyone is doing well. This is the first episode of the month of October, as Brandon is about to join us shortly. But yes, first show of the month, should I say, of October. We missed out last week. Of course, the Miami Dolphins were playing on Monday Night Football. We'll get into that a little bit as the show progresses. But we are here, and here is Brandon, and he is joining us. Okay. There we go.
I'm ready for discussion. I'm
He
sorry
is
for the
ready.
late arrival, but I'm ready for discussion.
No problems, brother. We had just got started. We hadn't even talked. It was just the intro. We hadn't just talked about any sports yet, so you made it in perfectly with the Gators shirt. And that's the first topic, actually, that we're going to get into. AP Top 25 poll, and obviously discuss college football. So let's go over that poll, if we would, folks. So these are the new rankings. We're going to have Ohio State. It's obviously going to stay at number 1. Number 2 is going to be the Miami Hurricanes. Jonka, I'm sure, is very happy about that, to see his Hurricanes jump from number 3 to number 2. Of course, Oregon did not play this weekend. Mm-hmm. They were on a bye week, so Oregon falls to number 3. Let's get the rest here, because not coming up entirely for me.
I can get it for you if you want.
I got it. Here we go. So yes, at number 3, Oregon. Then at 4, we're gonna have Ole Miss. At 5, we're gonna have Texas A&M. At 6, we're going to have Georgia. At 7, we're going to have Oklahoma. Then, this is crazy, but Florida State's going to fall all the way. They were in the top 10, but they're going to fall all the way to 25. They're going to fall to 25. So that is an interesting move there. I mean, it's what happens when you lose to the top 5 Miami Hurricanes. But Ole Miss at 4, Texas A&M at 5, 6 Oklahoma, 7 Indiana, shout out Mendoza, 8 Alabama, 9 Texas Tech, 10 Georgia, 11 LSU, 12 Tennessee, 13 Georgia Tech at 13.
Yes, as they should.
14 is Mizzou. 15 is Michigan. At 16 is Notre Dame. At 17 is Illinois. At 18 is BYU. 19, the Virginia Cavaliers. At 20, Vandy. At 21, Arizona State. At 22, Iowa State. At 23, Memphis. At 24, South Florida. And as I mentioned earlier, at 25, Florida State. Any thoughts and comments on the new AP Top 25?
I love how within 5, 6, 7 weeks or so, 6, 7 weeks, how quickly things have changed from the preseason poll to now. We're talking about the number 1 and number 2 team from preseason in Texas, number 1, number 2, Penn State. Exiting out of the top 25, 2 losses for each of those programs. And again, I get the Florida Gators beat out Texas. That was a big one right there. So shout out to the Gators finally getting a ranked win, going up against 3 ranked opponents. But, man, is it weird to see Texas not as a top 25 school for football? Is it weird to say that, is Penn State's season basically over? I would say so, at least according to the Big Ten, because no way they're going over Oregon, as we saw 2 losses ago for Penn State and Franklin. Basically, he said right after losing against UCLA, who was 0-4 at the time, that we're still feeling, the losses of the Oregon game. Penn State is. And Drew Allard just didn't look like the type of guy you expect to see, in the future throwing on Sundays. So big shakeup, I think, AP wise. I love the top four in this case. The Hurricanes, they were playing with their food against Florida State basically the entire game, and they look like the number one team. Only a handful of teams really there are 5-0.
Brandon, you don't think for Florida beating Texas, you don't think Florida should be in there?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. Now, again, from their schedule, the hardest schedule in the FBS, going against the number 3 and number 4 nationally ranked teams at the time. Follow that with Texas. Great game. Offense finally looked like what it should be from DJ Lagway. Also, Dallas Wilson, true freshman.
True freshman. Yeah, bro. That
55-yard touchdown. And again, all that from Yak, yards after the catch, fighting off guys, tiptoeing on the sideline. Insane play for those who have not seen it. So, in the sense of the SEC, I think this pushes the Gators up there. AP poll-wise, I don't believe so. Like, for example, if I was like an AP voter, or at least for people that do this polling, I really wouldn't go out of my way and be like, yeah, let's put them in the top 25 because I think that they're better than Memphis, who is 6-0, or Iowa State, who's 5-1. For the first time, really, I would have to say, for the AP poll through early part of this year, there's only like two teams that are 2 lost teams in this AP top 25 poll this year, or rather this week. I wouldn't push the Gators as one of those top two lost teams right now, and let alone actually 3 lost teams for the Florida Gators. So I wouldn't put the Gators up there though, but I like where the polling is. I did want to mention one thing though, because speak of the SEC, Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, that team, and guarantee that team should be at number 3. I think they're better than the Oregon Ducks and Nate Moore. I honestly do believe that when we do get to the upcoming week, Saturday slate, Texas versus Oklahoma, we might see some changes. As John Mateer is still hurt, we might see some changes for Texas A&M, who plays against the Gators. But I like this. And the last thing I do want to touch about, the Vandy, Alabama part of it. I love that the Associated Press and the voters for this AP poll kept Vanderbilt within that top 20 mark. Not too big of a jump down, 4 spots down after that Bama loss. Because, again, that's a close game, and Ty Simpson's the real deal. So, honestly, I have no issues really about this polling. Maybe LSU goes a little bit below 11, but besides that, I like it.
Yeah, I got nothing to complain about. Looking at the poll, nothing to complain about, really. Jonka?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody else. I mean, I feel like they finally kind of have a legit top 25 at the moment. Now they still have Notre Dame up there, but I think Notre Dame is going to stay up there because the rest of their schedule is kind of like ice cream cake, and you get to have the whole cake. So, besides that, I mean, shout out to again true freshman college debut Dallas Wilson for the Gators.
Yeah,
I cannot lie, he looked real good, bro. 5-star coming out of high school. He finally gets to debut, and he did a hell of a show on that. Now the only reason I need to see more from Florida to put them ranked is because of their offense. They just clicked this game, but did they win because Texas' offense is like kind of struggling right now? The same thing as LSU's, where their defense is solid, but they just cannot score. But I think right now, I mean, DJ Lagway had a really good game, and now let's see what they could do next week. But I think it's against Texas A&M, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, and be on the road in Texas A&M.
Let's see what Blake has to think.
Yeah. I'm on my phone. Sorry, I've been waiting for this thing to load for 15 minutes now. But what were we talking about? I heard
college football
about Florida.
Any thoughts on the AP top 25 poll?
Miami should be 1 next. No, I'm kidding. No, I think the top 3's right. I think they have in the right order.
I'm sorry. We're sorry to interrupt you, Blake. That's why me and Jonka are freaking out right now, because it was 1st and goal for Kansas City, tied 14-14. And Jacksonville gets the ball back and runs it all the way
Pick six.
downfield for a touchdown.
99-yard pick six.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
What did I tell you, John? What did I send you earlier? Shout out to Kamani and Danny Horowitz. I was on their podcast on Friday, and I told them they were making fun of me. They put the whole video meme to it. I said it. Duval! I said it. Jacksonville had a chance in this game. I know it's not over. 2:19 remaining in the third, but Jacksonville is about to go up 21-14 on the Chiefs.
Hey, if they win, they're 4-1.
Yep.
I mean, and that's what Trevor Lawrence not playing good this year so far. I think 6 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions. So,
But anyways, Blake, Miami number 1.
no, not actually. You can't take Ohio State off 1 until they prove that they shouldn't be 1, if that makes sense. Because like they brought back a lot of guys from last year. The same coaching staff. They're showing that they win all their games. Like they're still number 1. I think 2-3 is correct. I love that the second best team in the state of Florida, according to the AP, is in Tampa. Huge fan of that. I think the issue for the AP top 25 is, and I've never really thought of it until recently because I've never paid too much attention to the AP top 25 in my life. But these voters don't like whatever they put in the preseason, they want to keep that at the end of the season. They want it to end the way they started. So taking Texas completely off is awesome because they shouldn't be a top 25 team in the country. That's what I take of it more is that these voters don't know what the hell they're doing the whole before the year. If they knew what they were doing, then Vandy would have started at 13. So that's where they should be. They lost to Bama, but Bama I think should be like 8. So
if Miami were to play Ohio State today, what do you think would be the outcome of that game?
I think it just matters where.
Yeah.
If it's in Ohio State, I don't think Miami has a chance. If it's in Hard Rock, I think Miami wins. If it's neutral site, I think Ohio State. So I say I'd pick Ohio State then, but I wouldn't be shocked if Miami won. It wouldn't be the biggest shock to me. Like, what was shocking was FSU beating Bama. Like, that was like, oh, damn, like, that's how we're starting the year. But if Miami beat Ohio State in, like, the Rose Bowl because they meet before the Natty, I wouldn't be shocked.
I do think I mentioned this to Jonka. We were texting after the game, and I do want to mention this. Yes, well-deserved victory by Mario Cristobal and the Miami Hurricanes. But, guys, the final score was 28-22. They were up 28-3. The Florida State Seminoles, if they had a little bit more time, they had momentum, and they were about to – Brandon, don't shake your head at me. You know it's true. They were about to pull some Brady magic. Miami
they were
could not
playing –
any of their 4th 2-down conversions. 3 of them actually couldn't stop them on 4th down. They let them back into this ball game.
They were playing with their food. Now, if Jimmy Johnson was the head coach of this current Miami football team, they would have been up by 40.
47-14 would have been the final.
Probably would have been the final. Because, and again, when you look at the bigger picture of the entire game, and I understand 19 points given up in the 4th quarter is unexcusable, even for the Hurricanes when they're up by basically like 4 touchdowns throughout the entire way.
Yep.
It was just a sleep fest. They're just playing with their food. I mean, flea flickers back to Malachi Toney like nothing. You know what I mean? You got an 18-year-old guy going against 5-star DBs like, it's grass and you're running right through it with water. I really don't. And this is the one thing I think a lot of people will tell you about Cristobal, whether that was at Oregon, whether that was his first few years with the Canes. It's the game management and finishing.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring this up because I know Jonka, has nightmares about this. But look what happened against Georgia Tech many years back. Look what happened in Oregon where, he's trying to finish off to win a Pac-12 championship. Look what happens now when you have, and again, a game that was controlled by the Canes throughout, no matter what happened. But Florida State has 19 points, offside kick here and there. Yeah. And you're just having fun with it at this point. I mean, the only thing that Florida State really had throughout that entire game was Castellanos running around, extending the play and making something happen. That was about it. throughout this entire game. So even the final score, I understand 28-22. It looks better on paper, but the Gators had more of a fight against Florida. My apologies. The Gators had more of a fight against Miami than Florida State had against Miami, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This Florida State team did not look like it belonged in that matchup, even from the get-go. And their only lead of 3-0 to open up on their first drive of the game, that was probably their best showcase and chance against this Miami team.
All I'm saying is you can do flea flickers, all this first, second quarter, but all that matters is how you finish. And you can play with your food, but be careful because sometimes doing that will bite you.
Yeah, look at the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we get into that trash can,
Oh God!
I want to say something about the game because I just feel like the game was getting out of hand, and then as Brandon said, it's kind of playing with your food, and then all of a sudden the food gets cold, and then you don't want to eat it anymore, and then you kind of lose like the want to eat. That was you're up 28-3. At that point, you make the rivalry an even bigger rivalry and just smoke them. 45, 50, 60, whatever you could put up. Do not let these people breathe. And obviously that they're the number one offense in the country, and Gus Malzahn is going to give you so many different so many different plays that you don't even know what's going to happen. And plus with Castellanos running the ball willy-nilly, not knowing what he's going to do with the ball, and plus you got Deuce Robinson, shout out to him, he's a really good receiver. That he's like 6'4", he can jump really high. He's another Keon Coleman version. It's kind of hard to guard, but that run game was stopped after that first drive against FSU. It was like, oh yeah, FSU came out like hyped up. After that first drive, they got 3. All right, they looked good, but after that, they just struggled until that fourth quarter. And I think that's where like Miami's defense was getting a little bit gassed. And you could just tell on that drive, it was 1, 2, 3 down. They would get on the fourth down again and again and again. And then Mario Cristobal had to waste a timeout there, the first timeout of the second half. I mean, they can fix. There's a lot of like penalties also that cost us a lot of yards, but they can fix that up in practice. Mario Cristobal, I guarantee you, is gonna get on their butts on that. But before we change the subject, I think Blake and Brandon will agree. I don't know if Daniel will agree. There were literally no calls for holding against Ruben Bain the entire game.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it a buck here.
Yeah.
They were holding this guy all game, bro. All game. You mean to tell me not one holding call? Nah, bro. Cut the crap. Let's cut the crap already, bro. They wanted to keep this game close when they wanted it to, because they knew if it was gonna get a blowout, they were not gonna be calling anything, bro. Like, let's keep it a buck.
No, I agree.
Daniel, can I say one thing before we go?
Yeah.
I my first article I wrote for us was about the Miami Hurricanes.
Yep.
And I had 3 questions in it. Is Carson Beck going to be that guy? I'm going to be honest with you personally. I still don't have the answer. I don't think we've played anyone that proves that he's that guy, or he's had a performance that proves he's that guy.
I agree.
Our defense, the defense proved that they're there. The hype was real. They are that good. And the play calling.
On which side?
The offensive play calling. Defensively, it was going to show. It was the defense questioning the players and the coaching. It was all one thing. But we keep seeing it over and over again that Cristobal gets a 10-plus point lead, and he just wants to run the ball 3 straight plays.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's what invites the pressure. I think the reason we went to 2 instead of staying at 3 was because they were like, oh, dang, for 28 minutes, Miami looked like they were the best team in the country, and it wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
But then for 32 minutes, it was, oh, is this Iowa? You know, you Brandon like that one.
Iowa State.
Penn State. Like it's really hard to. It's really just difficult because Cristobal has the history of, God, he's an amazing recruiter, but the game management, especially when he gets a lead in the second half, where does he go? Because you have Carson Beck. You gave. Let's be honest. They paid him like an NFL quarterback. You gave him this money. Use him when it's 2nd and 7. Throw the ball on 2nd down when you're up 17 points. It's okay. Like, you're not going to die if you don't. Instead, he just wants to give it to Mark Fletcher when they're going to put 8 in the box, and those are the only reasons I don't think it's one, because I still don't know if Carson Beck is him, and Crystal Ball the play calling on that from all those coaches. I don't get it.
I will say that he was Mark Cristobal was being aggressive on those fourth downs, and he puts Mark Fletcher or Jordan Lyle in or Shamar Brown in and just run it in and punch it in and get the first down back. I mean, I did like that aggressiveness, but overall, I have to agree that these leads that you have, and then you get way too conservative, and I don't know, is you're trying to be respectful for the other team. Listen,
that's what I think it is.
I don't care about the feelings, bro. Blow them out. You put in your second stringers, third stringers. You let them get reps, and then you build the depth. You just do what you have to do and get it settled. We have a bye week this week. Fix that BS. Go and blow out Louisville, and then we handle the ACC. Take it a game at a time, but handle that BS, bro. I'm tired of that already, bro. That's gonna cost us if we go into the ACC title game against Georgia Tech. Preview.
And to push that as well, because I know a lot of people said, Ohio State should be where they are. Miami, 3 top 25 AP victories. The most. Best resume in the country right now. If you lose a single game, and from what I'm seeing for Miami being at number 3 right now, and again, it's a high spot, obviously. If they lose 1 or 2 games in the ACC contest,
it's over.
Because the Riders, I don't feel like they put us in the same atmosphere of the Big Ten with the ACC consideration.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I hate to say it, best resume, if Ohio State had this resume, they wouldn't even be close. If Oregon had this resume, they'd be number 1 right now. This resume, I think the Canes should be 1, in personal opinion. But still, either way, they need to fix that up going to deep down conference play.
I think we'll know if the Canes are number 1 after this week when Ohio State plays Illinois at Illinois. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that game works out. If Ohio State's offense, with Julian is saying, doesn't look like it's meshing still, and they're just blowing out bad teams, then I think the committee is going to look at that as like, okay, they don't have the same weapons they had last year, so they might be a little bit slower with a freshman quarterback, and they might be like, okay, you know what, we think we might have to bump Miami if they blow out Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go, sticking with football, we're going to go in the NFL. We're going to talk about Thursday night game that went into overtime. San Francisco 49ers 26-23 over the Los Angeles Rams. My assessment of this game is San Francisco just had one play better than the Rams to be able to win that game. And I will say I do like, and Brandon's going to be very happy when he hears me say this, I like Mac Jones more than Brock Purdy. I do.
Agree.
1,000%.
Love to hear that.
He fits the Shanahan system better than Purdy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness. No, but not even that. I'm also, because, you talk about Mac Jones, 342 passing yards, 2 touchdowns throughout the day. This offense went out of the way to pass 49 times. 49 times against a Rams DB group that usually you don't even see, guys having more than 30 on some good nights. Like, this was an all-time shooter against Matthew Stafford, who nearly had 400 passing yards. I personally believe when you look at this team, and especially with the NFC West, not saying anything we're going to make it to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
This might be one of the best divisions, underrated divisions. Let me phrase that, underrated divisions in the NFC.
You gotta look at this. All they had was basically I forgot his name, the tight end, not Kittle. Kittle was not playing. No Ricky Pearsall, no Ayuk, no Joan Jennings. Like, they were depleted. All they had was, unfortunately, former Patriot Kendrick Bourne, who went off, by the way. And it's like, damn, you have to be really impressed to win that game with Kendrick Bourne and 2 tight ends. And then McCaffrey, but
I do think the NFC West right now is probably the hardest division in football.
Mm-hmm. I would say outside of Arizona.
Yeah, outside of Arizona now.
But it's competitive, man. It's so competitive.
Yeah,
and
but
this
Arizona can beat any team in the NFC West. That's what makes it competitive. They can do it.
Now with Murray playing.
It feels like it.
Oh, don't get that brewing. I know
bro.
Brandon's a Kyler Murray guy.
There was a year that I thought he was going to turn up, but no. No.
I mean, I'll say this. This is public knowledge that I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. I'm less confident now than I was when they lost to the Eagles. The Eagles loss actually gave me confidence. So I was like, what are the odds you get 2 field goals blocked in back-to-back drives?
Weren't you guys the ones, Jonka can back me up on this. Weren't you guys the ones that said the Baltimore Ravens were going to go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That the Ravens were more likely to go to the Super Bowl than the Bills? Wasn't that you two?
I didn't
I'm
think
sorry.
Henry.
Did I just see Josh Allen lose to Drake May on primetime? Am I missing something?
I'm sorry. Did I just see the Ravens get demolished 44-10 to the Houston Texans?
No one expected Lamar to get
Lamar
hurt.
Jackson playing?
Yeah.
Oh my!
Lamar getting hurt.
What do you
Derrick
mean? Oh
Henry.
my God!
What
Wait,
about
come out.
him?
Then you have no excuse for the Cowboys last season for being absolute trash.
What? You still beat the Commanders. With Jay
Oh,
Daniels.
you beat a rookie quarterback! Oh my God, we're gonna go to the playoffs. Shut up.
You mean the ones that made it to the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, good job. You beat a divisional rival. Great job.
Yeah, and anything that was a
I'm
Detroit
sorry, your
choke
bum
job.
ass needs to take a look that the Ravens were the ones, even with Lamar Jackson before he was hurt, were doing garbage.
It
And I
was
agree
not
with
Lamar.
you
Do
that
not blame this on
Derrick
Lamar.
Henry had 3 fumbles in the fourth quarter in this already this year.
That is a
it's
Pompano
like
kid.
turnovers
Do
happen
not
late.
blame the Pompano kid. I'm telling you right now. All right? It's not our fault that Derrick Henry decided to make this season his unk season, okay? The guy's been fumbling every single game now. It's not the same anymore.
No, I agree. It's not his fault, but I think more Blake more because he's defending it more. But I think he needs to take accountability that he said the Ravens were going to go to the Super Bowl, and now here we are. And they're garbage.
If they make it to the playoffs, I still think it's the Ravens.
The rest of their schedule is kind of easy.
I'm willing to bet on
they
that.
suck right now, so
I don't know. The injury report for Baltimore every single week has been like a scroll.
It looks like the Dolphins for the last 5 years.
Ugh.
But
Wait,
back to the Rams game.
I'm willing to bet you a beer if you're so confident the Ravens making the Super Bowl.
I'll bet you a 12-pack. I'm happy to.
Okay. Let's bet a 12-pack then, because the Ravens always choke. And this year, I think they're going to choke again. So I'm more than happy to bet you a 12-pack.
But here's the thing, because this is a bet now. What has Josh Allen done? He's choked multiple times in the playoffs.
I didn't say anything. Well, yeah, I did say the Bills were more likely than the Ravens. Yes, I agree.
Well, you publicly picked them to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC.
I did. I still think they have more of a chance than Baltimore.
And I've seen Josh Allen have 2 game-winning drives and not get it done against the Chiefs. I've seen it twice now. So I know twice that he won't do it. Same thing as Lamar.
The Bills are more likely than Baltimore. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know if Lamar Jackson was going to lose to Drake May on primetime. That's just me, though.
Hey, I don't know. All I'm saying is
Drake May was also looking like Patrick Mahomes, though, so who knows?
I didn't think that the Jaguars would be ahead of the Chiefs on primetime. I'll tell you that.
I made that pick.
That's crazy.
My Patriots have a 2-game winning streak on the Bills. Just letting y'all know that. Just putting it out there.
That's more wins than the Dolphins have against them in years.
Must be nice.
You guys want to talk about it? What the?
Oh, because it's connection issues.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Like we found our future quarterback before the Dolphins can even win a playoff game.
Man, look, again, to push on this emphasis, because I know we're probably going to talk about it. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about this game coming up. All good. Actually, should we talk about the game now? Should we segue to that game?
Yes, we
Go
should.
ahead. I gotta hear this, baby.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you guys go. You cry your tears out.
Okay, because also for those who are always interested in Dolphins talk and Dolphins and football NFL news, we also have Sideline, one of our mini podcasts throughout this week on Tuesdays. We did a Twitter space, Jonka and Blake and I. We went on it talking about what was wrong with the team, what was going on, and I am going to be heavily taken in stock on the odds of who gets fired first. Anthony Weaver, I'm telling you, I'm pushing that stock on Anthony Weaver. The odds might not be there, but I saw it against Carolina. What do you tell me? Carolina averages maybe like less than 20 points per game. They put up 27 against the Miami Dolphins defense. You have a 4th and 5. You can make a stop. They just have a money shot above the moon pass to a tight end, and he gets a 1-on-1 catch. You have this Rico guy going for 206 rushing yards, career high, former Dallas Cowboy, I believe.
Yep.
And he goes off for a 50-some yard run. and Jack Jones is trying to punch the ball,
Former Patriot.
make the tackle, man. Make the tackle. Anthony, I had so much high hopes after the Jets game of this defense because Anthony Weaver was like, oh, we got to answer with violence. All our answers were with violence. I violently watched that game in fear because I wasn't even confident we were going to win that game, even up 17-10 going to the half. I mean, that's how messed up I felt about this defense. That's exactly why I felt like this Dolphins team lost that game. And yeah, sure, only 7 points in an entire second half, unexcusable from the offense. I felt like they should have kept on pushing it. And also for Mike McDaniel to go on a 4th down, which potentially is a game-winning drive, punting the ball back to Carolina, with your defense having to make up, a 3-and-out, which they haven't done all second half, really, that was a dumb call. I wanted to see aggression out of that offense. And you saw a little bits of it. But, Tua on the last drive cannot hit Waddle in the middle for a first down, even though, yes, he hit Waddle for a 46-yard touchdown pass, last touchdown pass we saw from Jalen Waddle, who, again, had a stellar game, 110 receiving yards, I believe, off the top.
6 catches and a touchdown.
6 touches and touchdown, too. But, man, like the defense, we got ran through. And this was a game where McDaniel said afterwards, I felt confident our rushing defense against the backup running back. So I have a lot of stock in Anthony Weaver getting fired as soon as possible. If not, because, again, I know there's a lot of fans out there that love Anthony Weaver and his mindset and would love to see a world where Anthony Weaver takes over the head coaching position. Do not get that man as the HC. He does not deserve it. Anthony Weaver, no one on his coaching staff deserves the interim spot if McDaniel leaves. I'll put it that way. But I'm telling you, that Dolphins game, this was a prime time, good Tua game that went to waste, a Waller game that went to waste, and Devon Achane with only 16 rushing yards, play calling, they were lagging away in the second half. That's all I can really say. I know Blake has better words to put it into, but the defense, I think that's the story of this game.
Yeah, I think me and Brandy probably go for 2 hours on this. If you guys want to just leave, it's fine. No, I'm playing. But yeah, I'll try to shrink my words of it down because there's a lot of issues. Just basic fundamentals. Like, I mean, it's so basic when you meet a running back in the C gap. Don't go for the ball. You just go for the hip. And I see my linebackers going for the ball. My issue that I had with Anthony Weaver is that they only ran to Jalen Phillips' side. We know Jalen Phillips is awful against the run. We know that he's very gettable, and they only ran to his side. And we were still shifting the linebackers to the weak side of the formation for pass coverage because we were so scared of the pass, even though it's Bryce Young. Jordan Brooks was having to run over from the opposite side B gap to try and reach the C gap with a guard building up. He's never going to reach, and so that's the defensive coaching error I saw. Jack Jones, is that his name? 23. Jack Jones, is that it? Yeah, get his ass off the field. I'm done. I mean, it's been all season that he's played, and he's looked shit. He's been awful the whole time. I can't tell you one good play he's made. He gave up the touchdown to Leggett. He was called for the P at the end of the game. I said on the Twitter with you, I think that was an extremely weak call. It was there's just a receiver and a DB meeting at one point. It's not a PI, but he had a holding call downfield on a third and 8 that they got a first down on because of the hold. So he needs to get benched. But what scared me is offensively, without Tyreek, there was a lot of positives. But the issue is all those positives are gone because teams aren't playing quarters or shell against us anymore. They're just sitting in the base package. And in base, we can't run the ball. If they have 2 or 3 linebackers in, we can't run. Our O-line's that bad. And the one thing that started scaring me was in the second half, the Panthers DC realized if we just rush 5, 2 was not mobile enough to get around the outside, and the interior O-line's awful. We have Derek Brown, who was killing our Samoan rookie left guard. Killing it. Mm-hmm. Daniel and John, I don't know if you guys watched the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Derek Brown looked like prime Lawrence Taylor, but he was rushing the A gap. It was ridiculous. No one was getting hands on him. And then for some reason, and this is my issue with McDaniel, and this is my last point because we got to move on, I think, soon. and I gotta let you guys speak, is Tua gets to the line of scrimmage and he doesn't speak. Now, I don't think it's a Tua thing. I think McDaniel doesn't let him change up assignments at the line because he's stepping out into shotgun, and we had I remember he had a 3rd and 4, and it was the second quarter, and we got the first down. We threw it. It was the shot deep to Waller, but yes, it worked out. Sensational. That's great. It was a blown coverage. The only reason it worked out, they played off coverage on Jalen Waddle. Just throw the out route. Just change it to an out route. Every other quarterback in the league hot routes it to Waddle to go to an out or just a hitch. And he walks up to the line. He just looks at the linebackers, checks the safety deep, and snaps the ball every time. He doesn't change anything. He's not calling assignments. If the play calls for a one-on-one with Derek Brown, and Tua can walk up to the line and realize, okay, I only got 4 rushing. Aaron Brewer, go help. He's not saying anything. So I don't know if this is a Tua thing or a McDaniel thing. But there's zero reason a quarterback who is, what's this for Tua, year 6, year 5?
Year 6.
Year 6. A year 6 quarterback with his eyes closed should be able to judge assignments at the offensive line consistently, and he doesn't do it once all game. If you guys can tell me you've seen Tua change line assignments in a game, I applaud you to show me video because I haven't seen it once. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. I mean, Josh Allen, even against us, I don't think Josh Allen sees the field amazing. I think he's just the best playmaker in the league. But he's calling out Bradley Chubb's going to rush inside because of his stance. They can see the stunts, and Tua can't make a call. I'm sorry. I'm going to start going off. I got to – John could go.
Save it for Tuesday.
I will say one thing only before Jonka goes. I think Mike McDaniel should be fired based off – I think Brandon touched upon this. I think Mike McDaniel should be fired based off the fact that I don't care it's 4th and 18. This is the game right here. Go for it.
Yes.
He is literally hoping on 3 timeouts that will try to save him and that he thinks his defense is going to stop Carolina. They haven't been stopping the run all afternoon. So in what mind do you think that you punting the ball back to them, you're going to stop them and get the ball back and win the game? Just for that, he should be fired.
Fair.
John?
I don't even know where to start, bro, because I feel like the Dolphins are already finished.
All right, bro.
Oh, man.
This dude seems 2-3. Frick. We're getting buried. Nah. No, I'm sorry. I'm taking shots. I'm sorry, Jonka. That wasn't at you, man. I love you, Jonka. That wasn't at you.
I know you do.
Fuck.
Damn, bro. I'm just at a loss for words because of how bad this loss is. Just conceptualizing, you had a 17-0 lead and you lose it 27-24 to a team that my team blew the hell out 42-13 7 days ago. By the way, I don't understand what happened. But when you have a 17-0 lead, bro, and you're telling me your top running back only has 16 yards, the problem is instantly the coaching, the play calling, the staff. I'll say it again. I'll say it right now. Sell the team. Get rid of GM, head coach, coordinators, every single piece of staff. Get rid of it. A complete and utter revamp. Culture, everything. It is not working out. Like this was it. You guys barely made it out of the Jets, and you guys recovered 3 fumbles. Yeah. 3 fumbles, and you only won by 6. That right there, you should have just been fired for winning that game. Just winning that game.
Hey, I told you before it. I wanted us to lose that game so bad so people will get fired.
Bro, at this point, what are you aiming for? You're not making the playoffs. That's given. You're not making it.
We don't know.
I'm willing to put my jackpot.
This has the problem.
I think we don't make the playoffs, but it takes us to week 17. Because that's the Miami Dolphin way. You lose enough where you know you don't make the playoffs, but you win enough where you're not a top 10 pick.
I'm willing to put you lose again to the Bills and you lose again to us in week 17. You probably lose to the Ravens somehow. You lose
Chargers
to the Saints. I will be attending that game this weekend.
No, if we lose to the Saints and Spencer Rattler, you will find me
in
Emirates Bank Arena for the rest of the year. No,
I might go get castrated.
Spencer Rattler has been playing not too bad.
Don't say that. They played against the Giants and
Bro,
don't
he's
say
been playing pretty good, bro. Let's not make him look like he's like a trash guy, bro. Like
Spencer Rattler in the Big 2025, man. He got his first ever start. My apologies, first ever win as a starter in the NFL. Okay, I'm not, and again, SEC guy. I'm not on that train. My stock in him is below the ground. There is not a penny put in that stock. All right.
So what would you say if the Saints beat the Dolphins?
I'm shorting the Spencer Rattler position.
Exactly. I'm telling you. If let's say hypothetically we get to midway November and this is a Dolphin team who, again, we talked about in the last podcast, bound to get a little push of these easy games, and not only do you fall against Carolina but also fall down a line against New Orleans. At this point, rest your guys. Tua should not play another snap in this season. There should be no more Kenneth Grant anymore. There should be no more Bradley Chubb. Do not ruin the career of these guys just for you to try to figure out how to win games.
You guys play the Saints November 30th at 1 p.m. at home.
Which should be a win. Now, if we lose that game at home, God forbid, because I got some Saint fans out there that I know, and they'll tell you firsthand that they are the worst team in the NFL. The worst team in the NFL. They'll tell you firsthand to them.
Clip it right now.
Please clip it, because nothing good is going over there in New Orleans near the Smoothie King Arena. That team is washed, okay? So Dolphins shouldn't lose that game, but if they do not even have two on the field. And there's also another conversation, I know a little bit of off the subject. People were talking about, well, if you get rid of McDaniel, do you also get rid of Tua? Because then Tua would have to go with his third head coach in his career.
Yes.
Why not? Why not? Total restart.
To the Saints.
But to the Saints, I don't know. But I love to look. I'll put it this way. I was a big critic of Tua early on in Corner's draft class. I didn't have him over Herbert. He proved me wrong, definitely, I would say, over the years. And this isn't team-based. This is individual-based. I'm just saying he has proven to be more of an NFL quarterback year by year. I would love to see Tua back another year, especially with the money he's getting paid. So you can say whatever you want, but this is, as we've seen game by game, this is a Dolphins offense that is a good offense. Jockey, give me that look all you want. You can give me that look all you want, but this is an offense that has Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Tyreek before the knee, Waddle, HM, who's one of the best backs right now in football, Tua, O-line's a little bit but Tua's better than Dak right now. And honestly, I would say that Tua continues on next year. So it's not a final score thing. It's not a final score team. If Tua was on the Cowboys, the Cowboys would be undefeated.
Yo, who's recording me, bro? Am I getting punked?
Hey, I'm just saying, by the end of the year, Tua probably has more passing yards than Dak. Most likely.
Well, I think the CIA just knocked on my door after that comment.
I'm just saying, the comparisons will continue on. Trust me. But
in Dreamland and Candyland they will, but not in reality.
Dude, let's be honest. Mike McDaniel was brought in because he had the best pitch for how to coach Tua. It's the only reason he was brought in. It wasn't because he was this super it's been a thing that he was only there because he had the best system for Tua, and it worked 1 year. It was somewhat working for 2 years. Hasn't been good for. It's not good. It doesn't work. You don't have a good enough O-line for it to work, and you're at least 3 years away from drafting enough O-linemen that hit for it to work. So I mean,
I would say that if Brian Flores was still the head coach and you give him Tyreek Hill, that team is more scary than what it is now.
Get out of here.
I'll agree with Brandon.
Back-to-back 1 in 7 years. Get out of here. Brian Flores was despicable, and Kenny Stills can tell you.
Great defensive coordinator, though.
He gave it the Tua. He
great
told
defensive
Tua
coordinator.
the truth. He told Tua the truth. You are trash.
Yeah, he told him the truth
You
when he
are
was down
trash.
1-7 in the season. If Mike McDaniel was 1-7 in the season,
but did that offense with Brian Flores have the people to succeed though?
they didn't even have the people to score 2 touchdowns.
Exactly. So how are we gonna blame Brian Flores for that? But
Because of his calling. His
Tyreek
play calling was
Hill.
trash.
Yeah.
Brian
I'ma be
Flores could not coach.
Yeah, I was 16, 17.
How many appearances
And
did Brian Flores have in the playoffs compared to Mike McDaniel? Mike McDaniel's brought the Dolphins to 2 playoff appearances.
Bro, are we really taking down the Dolphins to appearances now, bro?
What else are we supposed to do, Jonka? It ain't gonna be wins.
But if you're gonna gloat about McDaniel's offense with Waddle and Tyreek and everything he has right now, compared to what Brian Flores had, bro.
I've seen what Brian Flores has done. All right. And especially what he's done on different situations.
With the Vikings. More success with the Vikings, bro.
The Vikings. What are the Vikings records right now?
Better than the Dolphins, I'll tell you that much.
Scraped by the Browns.
I don't think anyone says Flores isn't a great DC. He's an awesome DC. I think head coach. The whole thing a lot of the offensive players said is they just wouldn't see him ever because he just wouldn't go over to the offensive side.
He didn't care.
I don't know if he didn't care. I just don't think he really knows that much about offensive football compared to the defensive side, so he doesn't get involved in the offense. And let's be honest, nowadays, if you get a young quarterback, you have to have an offensive head coach because they're going to be working with them hands-on the whole time. And those are the ones that have worked. Now, they haven't worked also, but those are the ones that just have worked. I'm going to be honest. I don't really know who you would look at as a head coach after McDaniel because you have built a team and the whole team is built for Mike McDaniel. He just has an awful O-line. So if you bring in, let's say you bring in Brian Flores, even though he hates Stephen Ross and
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, even worse. If you bring in Bill Belichick, I mean, what is he going to do with this team? He's going to say, hey, Josh McDaniels, can you come be my offensive coordinator? Like, you're just going to get the same thing that you've been seeing with them for the past 3 years. So, I mean, look, the best thing you can do with this team is blow it up. It's the best thing you can do. It's too expensive. There's too much money in this team for you to build it over 3 years. You have to get rid of it. If someone will give you a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Tua, Jesus Christ, take it. Please. I'll see Quinn. Screw it. Quinn Ewers was the number 1 ranked prospect in college for a reason. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Put him in over Tua. I don't care.
We got to call Lane Kiffin. at this point.
Dude, call his daughter. His daughter's hot. I'm sorry. Blake, she's my age, so it's okay.
Blake, I want to stay with you for our next topic. You just had your first show last night for one-timers. Barkov out for the year. Panthers start tomorrow against the Chicago Blackhawks. What impact is that going to have on the Panthers?
So I said it on the podcast. The Panthers, and it was funny because I texted in our group chat right after the show that we announced the One-Timers podcast on. The next day, Barkov did his knee. The Panthers were, in my opinion, clear favorites to win the cup. I didn't think it was close. I didn't think there was anyone in the East that you could even put within really close odds to them. It takes them from being favored in the East to now the East is open. I did a tier list, if you guys saw, of who I think are contenders in the league. I had, 4 teams from the East in there. Because if you don't have Barkov, this team goes from where it is right now, where it's so deep and almost unbeatable, it feels like, to, oh, crap, you're missing not just your captain, you're missing the best defensive forward in hockey, and it's by a mile. The only thing that excites me is that Matthew Tkachuk should be healthy the entire playoffs because he's missing half the year, and he'll have a new hip, so that'll be nice. The one thing though that upsets me about the one-timers, and they're gonna kill Chicago still, by the way. They're gonna bury them. They're gonna win 3-1, and they're gonna give up 1 in the 3rd period. They'll be fine. The one thing that kills me is I was adamant that Connor McDavid was going to Tampa, and instead the best contract in hockey is in Edmonton.
And you know what? It's even worse because right after your clip, I posted this morning that I
appreciate it.
I think that if Connor doesn't make it to the Stanley Cup Finals this year, that I can see him looking elsewhere other than
Yes.
Edmonton. And now, well, here we are.
Well, that's why the deal's only 2 years, because if they don't make it in the next 2 years, he's gone. Like that's if he wanted to stay in Edmonton, it's a 6-year deal. But here's the thing: I don't know if you three guys are that locked into hockey, how much you watch it. I haven't really talked to you guys that much about it. Kirill Kaprizov is a good player.
Yep.
Goal scorer. He's a difference maker for the Minnesota Wild. He just got paid $17 million a year. And as you guys know, general managers don't look at the number; they look at the percentage. What percentage does your contract take at the cap? He has the biggest cap hit percentage in the league, and Connor McDavid took 4.5 less than him. And Connor McDavid is by far the best player in hockey.
Yep.
And he's on. And Edmonton, the whole joke with Edmonton is they have the worst contracts in the league because they just paid Evan Bouchard 9.5. Jake Wallman got 6.5. It was just a lot of big contracts. And then McDavid, who I mean this, could have gone anywhere else and gotten $20 million probably. Took 12.5 to stay in Edmonton for 2 more years to try and win a cup there. But I still think they're not going to win it. So I talked about it on. You guys might like it if you guys like hockey. Go make sure you watch that. It comes out Sunday nights. But yeah, I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, Panthers, they're going to make the playoffs. They're still going to be scary because of just the dogs that are on that team. But now you have to ask Anton Lundell and Sam Bennett being like, hey, Sam, we just paid you. Hey, Lundell, you've been called Baby Barkey for 3 years now. We got to see it. It's time.
Before I go to Brandon with the next subject, I will say there is something happening this Friday that it's going to be very fun. So I want to shout out, you guys are going to enjoy this, Josh Luce. He is the assistant at Barrie Women's Volleyball. He's also one of our men's volleyball players. He is a fellow Canadian. He's our neighbor to the north, and he is a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan. And he told me, and he made a bet, that if the Maple Leafs won, I'd have to wear a Leafs jersey to work. If the Panthers won, he would have to wear a Panthers jersey to one of his games.
Hey, you're not wearing a Leafs jersey.
Nope. This Friday, our good friend Josh is going to be wearing a Florida Panthers jersey, and I will make sure, and as Brandon says, guaranteed, there will be photos of it all over social media for our enjoyment. Brandon, you got one more thing to add?
I do have one more thing to add relating to the Panthers. I still like the first line for Hagee with Lundell and potentially Bennett. Or actually, scratch that. Lundell and Reinhardt switch.
It's Rhino Verhage Bennett.
Yeah, I would probably put it at that. I like the roster still. I know a lot of people are looking at the with the Hurricanes and everything like that in Carolina. I know a lot of people are saying that Tampa might regroup. I don't really believe that. Even without Kachuk, even without Barkov, this has a very good roster, deep roster. Maurice is going to figure it out on the ice. This is hard to defend in the neutral zone type of team. And, of course, Sergei still at goal. What did I miss?
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Dark horse this year. And I said that they might. I'm gonna make my official picks on Sunday for what I think's how the season's gonna end.
Don't say Penguins.
Oh God, no, never would. Are you kidding me? I almost put them as a bottom 5 team in the league. The Ottawa Senators. I applaud anyone that doesn't know hockey to watch them. Their clips from last year, and then people that do know hockey to go look at that roster again. That team is so good. It is so deep. There's so many good players. They just have to put it together for a month. That's all they have. If they put it together for a month, they can win a cup.
This is the Brady Kachuk speaking.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also the Timmy Stu speaking. It's the Dylan Cozen speaking. It's the Ben Sherratt speaking. There's so many good players on that team. Like they have their top 6 forwards can compete with anyone in the league. That third and fourth line's where you get shaky, but their top 4 D pairing is awesome also. So yeah, I think NHL this year is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Brandon,
it should be good.
Talk to me. The Miami Heat have decided to extend Nikola Jovic. Talk to me. What do you think on that?
So this one being a rookie extension, 4 years, $62.4 million rookie extension.
Oh.
This, for those who don't really understand, this guy's coming off a career high in points. Average 10 a game. 4 years, $64 million. Ideally, in the sense of the banks, it helps out the Miami Heat. But I talked a lot about, the Heat in 2026 having hard money for Luka Doncic. That went out of the window when he signed an extension with the Lakers. Now you're looking for 2027, potentially having a big-time free agency. But for the Miami Heat in overall, because they played about, 2 preseason games so far, one against Orlando, and today they lost to Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah. Jovic, I'm not saying I expect more out of him, but when I see him play in Europe, when I see him playing for his international squad, why is he not being used in that sense for the Miami Heat? It's not a lot of on ball with him. We're not seeing him take things over. So to put him on an extension like that, and again, Tyler Hero also potentially could get an extension later on this month for the Miami Heat. I thought they would have gone a way of, let's go to Hero first before we even get to Jovic. I thought it was going to go towards that way because obviously coming off an all-star career high year really for Tyler, I thought you would reward the guy. They went their way with Jovic. And again, as I said before, career high in points last season. Only limited to 46 games, breaking a bone in his right hand. So he's been limited, year by year recently. So to do an extension right now with him, personally, and this is a Pat Riley Heat-led team that rewards their players. Like, I can go back, Justice Winslow, Tyler Johnson, all these different guys.
God, I wanted Justice Winslow to work out.
God, that could have been the point guard. But I'm telling you, if he didn't want to sign Caleb not too long ago, if he didn't want to sign Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, you give this guy Jovic an extension? Personally, I know a lot of people are going to go the other way with this. I don't agree with this move. I really don't agree with this move. I think long-term, he's not going to be a starter. I can't really see the upside about this besides a real good role player, like a Kelly Olynyk type of thing, even if he can get to that. So that's what I see this move.
Paying Kelly Olynyk $62 million over 4 years, that would hurt.
So last thing on the agenda tonight. I don't know if you guys have all seen, but we've had a video of LeBron walking to a seat. There's another gentleman waiting for him. He sits down in the room. They're facing each other, and it says the second decision. Now, this could be 3 things. Is he announcing retirement? Is he leaving to another team? Or is he advertising Amazon Prime? What is it? What do you guys
think? Find it so hilarious because we live in a day age where like podcasting is such a main thing, let alone we're on a podcast right now. I guarantee that this is for another podcast that he's going to be like, LeBron, what's your decision? I think me and JJ Riddick are going to go on another episode. I think this is it. I think we'll have a great guest this week. Like, LeBron is such a troll. Like, I think everyone knows that throughout his entire career. I can imagine that's going to be a podcast episode, and for him to do the decision, that's messed up, man. Because I remember how controversial that was originally when it first happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a whole class period in college that discussed the decision about what it meant for journalists, what it meant for journalism, players being advocates for their own voice, which is cool.
Yeah. Chris Broussard got a career because of the decision.
Yes, careers were made by the decision. So the decision part 2, a lot of flashbacks.
I don't think he would go to that again.
Hopefully not. If he says, I'm going to take my talents to the retirement home, then yeah, I would say it's a big deal, but this is going to be a podcast announcement.
I think it'd be funny if he announced his retirement by the decision. I think it'd be funny. You take the lowest moment of his career and he's going to announce that he's sending it off. I think that's fun.
Or he's going to announce that he's waiting for Bryce.
Or he's going to come out as transgender. It could be that.
Oh my God.
He might go try the WNBA.
Jeez.
Shout out to the Aces about to win the WNBA finals.
I think that one is up there, Jonka, with the Twin Tower comparison.
Bro.
No. I'm not making a 9/11 joke. Stop.
It wasn't even a 9/11 joke. It was just an analogy.
Stop.
Tremendo analogy, bro.
Jonka, your thoughts on LeBron's decision? Quote unquote decision.
I think most likely it is going to be a retirement announcement, but he's doing all this grandeur presentation just to announce that he's going to be retiring and that this year is going to be a retirement tour. And he's going to do the same thing that Dwayne Wade did. He's going to go every game, jersey swap, all this shenanigans, whatever BS. And he's going to go out the same way. All the I don't know if you've noticed, if you guys seen it, all the ticket sales for every game have skyrocketed since this announcement has went up earlier today. Before all that announcement, they said it was at $85 to $100. Now tickets are at $500 minimum for these games that he's going to be playing in. It just seems like it's going to be a retirement tour, to be honest.
We shall see. It's going to be announced tomorrow, October 7th. So we shall wait and see. But for us, that's going to do it for episode 201. Thank you guys for joining us this evening and starting your month of October with us. We hope you have a great first week of the month, great rest of the week, and have a good night. We'll see you next week.